Hi guys and girls, welcome to Zilla Cabs. This is kind of a preview to a longer, more in-depth video that we wanted to do on quite an important subject, and a subject that lots of you, when we ask for feedback, this comes up a lot, and it's what's the difference between open and closed back. Now it's a really big thing, and that is it's kind of an advantage of going for a custom cab is that with off-the-shelf cabs you don't get to choose, but with a custom cab you do. And it's one of those things that a lot of people, because of that, often don't think about, and often don't appreciate the differences. They will maybe hear combos which are put on the open back, and 4x12s which are always closed back, and you kind of think you've got an idea, but the size of the cabs and all this kind of stuff is coming into play. So what we wanted to do was make just a quick video of one cab, which this has got the three-piece back, so we can go open and we can go closed back, and you can hear the differences there.
So as Paul mentioned there, one of the options we offer to customers of Zilla cabs is a three-piece back, isn't it? Yeah. So that's where literally the back of the cab is split into three panels, and it gives you the option of removing the central panel to have an open back design, or having it back in place to sort of simulate a closed back. Now
there are a couple of not issues, they're just features of having a three-piece back that make it not identical to, or maybe change the capabilities slightly of if it was a fixed closed back. We'll go into all of these in a more in-depth video. Right, the cab we've chose is a custom ported cab. It's based around it's actually based around our large ported cab, which is a cab that's not on the website. It's basically just a slightly larger version of the ported 112. It accommodates some side handles. This one's got the strap handle on the top, but the reason we have this is we did a small test run of them, and this is one that we kept for ourselves. We sold all the others. Now with a ported cab, on these cabs, you've got the ports on the front, and now what a port does, again this is probably a video that we should do, it's an acoustic array which helps filter in or out certain frequency bands. Now the reason you will mostly see them in a 1x12 is because the physical size of a 112 has been smaller. It just means you tend to lose a little bit of low end compared to the larger cabs, 212s, 412s, things like that. So what you do is you try and add in a little bit of low end.
So it's about making a smaller cab sound as big as it can.
Basically, yeah. So if you're used to using 4x12s, but you need something small and light, but you don't want to compromise too much on the sound, it's kind of a good way to go. So
just to put it in its most simple terms, literally on the baffle here where the speaker is mounted, there's two holes next to it with which are called the ports. So.
And we'd go into a bit more of that on a longer video, but one thing I like about them is they have to be closed back to work properly. That's actually one of the reasons why we chose this cab for this video. But they bring in a nice openness to the sound, which I don't think actually comes across on a close mic too well. You'd hear that a little bit on more room mics, and it's kind of like it's like a little bit more of an ambience to the sound. You get a very focused sound from being closed back, but also a little bit extra.
It's like a dynamic thing, isn't it? It just breathes a bit more.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Now, so I've already said that's the reason we chose that, and ported cabs will be in a closed back because it's to do with the pressure inside the cab. If you think inside a closed back cab, the pressure changes as the speakers move in back and forth. In the ports, what essentially that does is it forces the air in and out through the ports, and it creates the acoustic filter, adds to the low end. Now if the cab is open back, the pressure inside the cab is essentially, or theoretically the same as what's in the room, because you're pushing air out, and it comes out of the back and into the room. And now the pressures do change a little bit, but the rule is you can kind of ignore that. So what that does is that knocks out the ports completely. So with this being a preview, we wanted to use that because it will create a slightly more dramatic effect.
So what I've done here is I've just done what I usually do. I'm just play through some clean, some dirty and some heavier tones. And I've left the mic exactly in the same place. I've also got 2 room mics here, which I'm just going to blend in a little bit, because sometimes what people describe the differences with open back to closed back is a more sort of roomier ambience to the sound. So I just wanted to give a little bit of a perception of what that sounds like in the room.
Capture a little bit of that. I always say it's more vibe than anything. You'll see from the frequency plots that there's changes in what's happening with the lows and stuff like that, but it's part of the difference is that kind of feeling you get when you're playing it in the room.
My preconceptions of it is that I like closed backs for playing rhythm guitar, and I like open backs for playing lead stuff. So
you've got a slightly tighter sound for your rhythm there, and you've got a bit more cut through, drop a little bit of the lows for okay, cool.
But yeah, let's have a listen to it, and we'll see what you think.
so as always, I think it is always best to hear Joe's playing rather than just us talking. So hopefully what you've heard there is with the closed back, you've got a little bit more focus in the lower frequencies, a little bit more of the lows, and a little bit more sort of natural ambience to the open back.
I think it's worth noting here as well, I kept all the settings and everything I used the same. I was using some pedals for the sort of dirty sound, and then the amp on high gain for the high gain sound, obviously. But as always with these sort of things, if you were going for these different sounds, you might want to tailor your tones to the sort of response you're getting from the cab. But here we're just trying to show you the exact difference that you get.
Yeah, so what you did here was you set the sounds up when it was closed back.
Yeah.
It was actually me that was pushing for that, because the cab is supposed to be, I mean, traditionally it'd be closed back. So I thought, work with what that's doing best, and then just take the back off and you'll hear the difference. Yeah,
because what I might usually do is, once I change it to an open back cab and it's giving less low end, you might want to dial some more low end in, so you're getting a similar sort of tone but with a different dynamic feel to it.
Yeah, that's what you do. It's what you always do. New pedal, new any gear, or changing the gear, just re-EQ.
Cool. Well, that's a little introduction into this topic. It's a big one for us, so I think we'll explore that in another video.
Yeah.
But yeah, as always, please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon for notifications, and leave us a comment on this, and especially for the more in length video, anything you want us to cover in that or look at specifically would be good to hear about that below. So
we love hearing from you, and any suggestions, just let us know below.
Cool. See you very soon.
Bye.